This episode of Outdoor Journal Radio is brought to you in part by the Invasive Species Centre, protecting Canada's land and water from invasive species. Freedom Cruise Canada, rent the boat, own the memories. J&B Cycle and Marine, your home for all things power sports, boats, and equipment. And Sail, the ultimate destination for your outdoor adventures. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's always nice getting
it's about time we got that, right? But, it took us 40 years to get it, but that's okay.
That's all right. Sometimes good things are worth waiting for. Welcome to the program. Peter Bowman, Angelo Bio, the rest of the group.
Come on now.
We'll introduce you later.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Come on now.
They probably know the group by now, I would think, right? Unless there's new viewers and listeners, then they wouldn't know the group, so...
Wonderful program. A good friend of ours, Kevin Callan, the happy camper, will be joining us.
Give me a hell yeah!
I'd give a hell yeah for Kevin Callan, for sure.
Be joining us shortly. He, of course, is outdoorsman extraordinaire. We talk to him periodically, especially after he's been on a crazy expedition. Usually has to deal with frigid, cold winter temperatures camping on the ground in the middle of some godforsaken part of the world. Mm-hmm. He'll be joining us shortly. He's unveiled a brand new book.
Yeah, interesting book.
He writes so many. I don't know where he finds the time, but anyways, he's a prolific book writer. This one's
he's kind of retired now, though, isn't he? Now he has time for.
This is a kid's book, and called A Spark of Courage, which we'll be talking about here very shortly. But first,
le premier.
Wah.
Le premier subject.
Shop.fishingcanada.com. If you haven't been there lately, you need to get there.
You get all kinds of stuff like this right here.
They now are apparently giving you extra reasons to go with discounts that will be...
What?
I just recently found out
what the hell?
That if folks listening to this program, because obviously it's the only way you can get that, is on this program. If they listen to the bonus code that we give out to enter you into the contest, get additional coverage. That's right. You're going to read that in a minute.
Coming later.
You knew that, eh?
Coming later.
That you can use that bonus code now, not just to enter the wonderful array of prizes, but you can actually use it on the shop, .fishingcanada.com to get discounts.
No way.
Come on now.
Don't know what.
Give me a hell yeah!
Don't know how much. It's a mystery prize, right, Dean?
It's a mystery, yeah. The store manager hasn't revealed it to us.
He hasn't revealed it. Well, if he hasn't revealed it to you, then nobody knows.
No.
Any approximations? No. You guys can't give it to me. It's just truly unknown.
Yeah.
No.
Like
he works in mysterious ways.
Is it 5%, 10%?
I don't know.
11.5%. I'm looking at the manager. I see like 10 fingers up in the air.
Can't even count. A bunch of bullshit. He can't even count the 10.
He can't? Well, at least he's trying to be honest anyway. He's got one finger pointing at you right now. Sorry, he counts that one.
If you do use the bonus code, which we're reading it later on.
I think we should read it now.
You want to do it now?
You want to know?
The people are all excited, waiting for it.
You don't want to have them wait like a little bit longer and get into
No, because I have a feeling later we won't do it for some reason. I have a feeling.
Wow, Dean, you're lacking.
So
in
negative.
Just
so
pessimistic. Negative. Like if there's one trait that Dean holds highly, it's the pessimism. There's no doubt about it.
There's a bunch of bullshit.
And that too. Okay, well, this week's bonus code is for this new addition to the contest, and plus our Fishing Canada contest, is Courage. All capitals, COURAGE. Courage.
Come on now.
Type that into the bonus code section, and you'll get your bonus entries. And
I have a
the
question.
automatic shot, like the discount is done if they type it in there.
Apparently, you go there. You
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
But I do have a question.
Yes.
On that. Why is it all capitals? Why does it have to be uppercase?
I think it's just you'd have to ask the manager.
Is it
the
technology? Is it
It's just tech.
what's the reason for that?
It's technology.
It is technology.
And it excludes the people that don't like to listen to you say that.
I like that. You're kind of weeding out the ruffians, and they got to listen carefully.
Testing.
They got to. That's skill testing. That's takes a lot of skill to hit the cat block.
All uppercase. There you go. New feature on Fishing Canada store. Go check it out.
And that courage, you know where that word came from, right? That's
Like originally is a Latin. It
that's,
comes from the Latin word of coraggio.
is that the way you say it?
I'm just throwing that out there.
Coraggio.
I'm just throwing it out there. Is it a derivative of that?
Well, it could be a derivative of rage. There's rage in there. I don't know if I like that or not. Rage in the cage and piss up on the stage is only one way to bring the giant down.
Come on now.
Somehow.
So-
It could be. Who knew? Listener feedback, Mr. Bowman.
Listener feedback. Let's get to it. Via
on now.
This is from Statel at State. Help me out, boys.
Like you
State
just completely-
Stately Elms?
Stately Elms. Statel.
Stately.
Statel.
Stately.
Stately Elms.
Stately.
Stately Elms.
Elms. Stately elms. Those are the
Okay,
nice, big,
at
beautiful
stately
elm
elms.
trees that you see in front of the big mansion.
Piss elm. My dad used to call them piss elms. I don't know why they were.
Stately. They're stately. They're stately elms.
Which state are they from?
Come on now.
That's a good question.
Yeah, American trees.
Stately elms via YouTube, so this qualifies stately for something, does
No.
it not? No, it doesn't either.
We are all over the place. Stately Elms, in response to our Striper episode on the Miramichi. Do you want to go through the whole thing, Yes? Or you want to kind of
It's a
condense
long
it?
one. It's a long one. But basically, he's saying that he fished it. He had an opportunity to fish the Miramichi, right?
And when all was said and done, they were trolling basically the first time he's ever tried it. They landed 92 stripers in 7 hours.
And that's pretty good, isn't
And
it?
it was a horrible day.
But that's pretty
Frostbitten by the horrible rain. That's damn good. And they were trawling.
good. Trawling. We've never trawled for them.
I know, and I bet you it's deadly. Imagine running boards out there. You got boards, whatever. Oh, my God.
We've never trawled for them.
And you got those walleye deep diver cranks.
We need to make note of that because you and I will forget. Somebody needs to make note of that.
Just before the trip, boys, you say, Pete, bring your boards.
Yeah,
That's all you
yeah,
got to
yeah,
do. And then we're good.
He goes on to say, as a biologist and local, I appreciate you giving background on the decline of the salmon.
Which
It's
we
a-
talked about in that episode. Yeah, for sure.
in depth, right? It's a nightmare scenario, and they're disappearing at an alarming rate from the watershed all over the Maritimes, only hanging on.
And
by
he
threads.
he appreciates us not pinning it on one source.
No.
So we try to see every
not.
angle of the
not.
demise of it or
And it's
depletion
not
of
just
them.
here either. It's not just in Canada.
No, exactly.
They're having problems globally
Yeah.
with Atlantics.
Yeah. It's a shame. It's too bad. It's a great fish, but
Anyways, it's a very nice thank you, stately elm.
yes.
Come on now.
Very stately statement.
It's a stately statement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Conservation corner.
That's it.
Moving along. I want to get to the happy camper because he makes me feel good.
He makes me happy. He's the one thing in this world that makes me happy.
Conservation corner.
Happy.
Grass carp brought to you by the Invasive Species Centre.
These don't make me very happy. These
No,
guys
they
right
don't.
here.
But
these
you know
grass
what? No, you
carps.
can be happy in knowing that there is a mechanism in place to try and help.
No, but if there weren't no grass carp around, we wouldn't have to even worry about a mechanism. We wouldn't have to worry about that.
Well,
You know what I mean?
it makes
So it's you know.
Anyways, needless to say, we need to be vigilant. We need to stay on top of this. Best way to do it is to go to asiancarp.ca, a wonderful website that will give you everything you need to be armed when you go out fishing the next time
to identify these
these fish and possibly be able to do something about that.
Any little bit, you just report that fish. You take a keep it, take a picture, report it. I'm telling you what, you're doing a lot of good out there for sure.
Grass carp. asiancarp.ca is the place to be. In the
Indeed.
news. Brought to you by J&B, your outdoor store.
Come on now.
J&B Cycle and Marine,
J&B Cycle and Marine.
Ontario's largest Prince Craft Mercury dealer.
Did you know that before now?
Well, yes, because last week we said it.
And the week? No, last week you weren't here.
Oh, the week before we said it. Well, I heard that podcast.
You heard
It's a damn good podcast, buddy. Lake Simcoe. Oh my God, I like that stuff.
Come on now.
I'm going to stay away more often. I like
if you're
that.
looking for a Princecraft boat, motor, trailer package, or anything to do with such item, you need to go to JB, not J&B, which is their actual name, but JBCycle.com.
Look at you. Look
And
at
it
you.
wasn't even written here, right?
I know it's not written
I
there.
know. I just went by memory.
Wow.
on that.
Wow.
JB cycle.
I knew that was coming. I could just hear it in my ears.
Even if you want to, you know what? Maybe if you want to compare, you want to look at, you're buying a boat package somewhere else. You want to see what the largest dealer in the nation has to say about it.
That's
pretty good place to go.
Yeah, I'm sure
it's
that happens a
called
lot,
JB
right?
Cycle. Yeah.
Wow.
Why not compare? Why not?
So in the news, brought to you by JB Cycle, historic run expected on the Fraser River of that little critter called the pink salmon.
Wow.
Pink salmon.
The pink salmon.
Pink salmon, yes. Yes, indeed. They're expected to see 27 million pinks returned up the Fraser this year. It's potentially the largest run in record keeping began.
They are always, it seems, in the news. Pinks are, I think, people that are in the salmon business probably look at pinks as the canary in the cage. It's always an indicator, right? If the pinks are running, if the runs are good, it's going to be a good year. If not, oh boy, we're in big poo-poos.
Do they not run every 2 years, or is it every year? I thought they were on a 2-year cycle.
The fish itself is on a 4-year cycle.
No, the up the river. So I remember fishing the Campbell.
Yeah.
And I thought they said that this was the year for them, and they didn't come the next year, and the year they come every second year. No,
I think what they do, much like this one, see this 27 million. Somebody's going to go. Let me write that down. When this 27 million, because in whatever that cycle is, 3 years, 4 years, that run coming back should emulate that 27 million, right?
Yeah,
because they don't come back every year. You know that.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. They don't come back every second year.
No. The individual fish don't come back every year, but
new ones
pinks do come back every year.
Right.
It's the ones that come in of this 27 million are coming in to spawn.
Right.
Right.
They won't come back for 2 years.
They're going to have little bitty pinks spawning there. So those fish that spawn, you won't get them up here for another 4 years, but there's another cycle that's coming in next year and next year. So
they're on a 4-year, like the Chinook.
3 to 4, as many. I've even heard as high as 5, to be honest with you.
Wow.
So,
I thought
but
they were different than Chinook.
Interesting note here, it has nothing to do with this story. There was a huge collapse of the pinks, 15 years ago or so, where they missed an entire
season.
Yeah. The entire
So the world ended right there to all the counters.
It was like 20 million or something that they were expecting, and none of them showed up. So there was a big to-do about that. And
did they figure out
why?
Basically,
it was the sky is falling, right?
Did they figure out why?
They were still trying to figure out why when a year later, oops. Oh, here they are.
They're back.
There they are.
Wow.
Look at that. So anyways.
So pink salmon, I believe, to people listening here, now I'm not a salmon expert, but I believe of the eating world, they're more canned salmon than anything. You got your Chinooks and your Atlantics, your Pacifics and Atlantics for selling the big fillets and the nice big pieces and the steaks, right? More than anything, the pinks, because they're smaller too, right? We did that in Campbell. And they were nice, up to like 4 pounds or something like that. They were fun. That's the only time I ever fly fished too. So
don't know why they're considered.
Yeah.
Why they're not looked at as, maybe it's taste.
Yeah, then maybe Dean. Do you know about table fare? Do you know about their fillets?
I think it's kind of like chum salmon, where like dog food and cat food and anything canned, they kind of get roped into.
Is that just because of the
taste?
I don't know. I don't know why necessarily. I think it's just a size thing more than anything.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure if
there's 27 million coming up there. I mean, there's a lot to can there. There's a lot of meat to get canned, that's for sure. But that's one river. But
that floating down the Campbell we did with these salmon was
cool.
Outstanding.
What the snorkeling
experience.
And all that was so neat, eh?
That was a great.
And then in the float tube and all that, and they're scrappy little buggers. They are fun to catch.
God.
And they have them in Ontario, do they not? In Sault Ste. Marie, I think there's pinks along there too. Yeah,
yes.
and Atlantics too. So they make a great fishery, a fun little fishery to go after them. So, well, it'd be interesting to see. Hopefully the boom is good and it doesn't affect, hope that they're not eating everything else out of house and home. And,
So this August or September, if you're out in the Fraser River area, expect to see 27 million pink salmon. That'll be the peak of their run.
Go do it like Angelo did. Just put the old snorkel and wetsuit on there and start taking a look. That's so cool seeing them down there. It's freaky.
Yeah, that's a great story, by the way. We didn't really do it complete here.
We butcher up everything.
But there's
we're good. We're good
there's
butchers, Ange.
a
That's why they should
speculation.
can us, for Christ's
All
sake.
kinds of speculation is as to why the runs are, have such drastic changes year to year. Climate obviously is the one that everybody seems to lean on.
Yeah, it's a big one, eh?
Yeah.
At least it seems to be a big one.
I didn't know about this. So the Russian and Alaskan hatcheries producing 16% of pinks have helped populations grow.
So those would be
since the 70s.
escapees. That'd be escapees or something like that, or they don't just raise them to release them, do they?
Maybe that's what this would imply. I mean, that's what I would read there.
I'd be
And
surprised
Canadian
at that.
hatchery contribution is negligible. So we're not doing it. We're not raising enough ourselves, but the Russians and the Americans.
The Americans, the Northwest Americans.
Yeah, they're contributing to the pink population.
Yeah, good for them, I guess. Maybe, unless it's too much.
Have we beat this one to death, Dean, or would you
I
like
think
us
so.
to?
You guys,
Did I? How
Did we
bad?
do
beat
good?
up.
1 out of 10, Dean.
Was it bad?
dead.
Have you
It's
got
dead.
any comment, Dean, on this?
No, it's dead. It's dead.
Is there going to be any YouTube? Is there any YouTube comments
I
coming our
can
way?
just see him, when he gets all this stuff done, he looks like, oh, this is going to be a great story. The guys are going to love this. Wow, let me add some extra points here and give him. He has like 8 pages, and we just
Butcher.
boot it out of the park on the first punt.
I thought the one thing that I thought of is that I know chum are becoming more popular down in the States because the other steelhead and salmon runs are so bad. So
Really?
I could see maybe guides trying to take advantage of so many pinks being in the area
I don't see why not.
because they are pretty cool looking. They have the big hump.
They're
and,
great little fish.
you could probably
Rippers.
You could convince some people to go out for them.
I'll tell you, on a fly in a river, I don't know, man. That's got
They
to
were
be hard
tough.
to beat. Tough to land, and
Remember how far they'd run down? And these were fish this
yeah,
big. We'd
and
have
you
to
had to
follow them.
chase them.
Yeah, we had to
Yeah.
chase them down the river.
that was
So-
great. And the bears were on the shore.
The bears walking the shore.
They were spooky, eh?
That was weird.
They were spooky.
The whole trip was so exotic, so
Yeah.
cool.
We got cornered by one time a bear. We were on a little wee point,
Oh boy,
and we
I
were,
remember.
having at it. And all of a sudden, I turned around, and there's a bear, and he's got us cut off from the mainland, and he's just sitting there,
Staring at us, just
there,
staring
his
at us.
tongue would lick
Yeah.
his mouth every once in a while.
Yeah.
You just look around.
Yeah, yeah. You know he's not going to kill you because he's got so
We're-
many salmon there to eat, but you're still intimidated. Like
We
hell,
were
you know.
already figured, okay, how do we deal with that? Where are we going to run to? Can we swim across there?
We
Could
beat him up with a fly rod.
Yeah.
God,
That
was cool.
That was great.
It was a great trip.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Fan question of the week.
Come on now.
Yes.
This one is the one, right? This is the one that's brought to you by fishfindermounts.com. This is the one
This is
that
the one of all
has
one?
all the dollars attached to it, isn't
Oh yes.
The giveaways?
Yes,
Isn't
this is the one.
it? Okay.
Yes.
that-
All
is
of,
that-
well, it used to be all the dollars. Now it's some of the dollars.
Is that correct?
Right.
It's normally correct, but again, this one, just like last week, it came in from email. The
Oh,
YouTube people are slacking.
Oh.
So unless we can talk to the store manager and at some point and see if
No,
YouTube is
no.
the spot. But
He's busy
Unless
with the
you-
discounting.
you know
trying
what?
to total up discounts. I think he's totally consumed right now.
We could throw a real fun wrench into it and say this one is you got to do by email. Would he be able to stay up on that, the manager?
No, I doubt it.
No, it's too much for him.
Oh, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much.
Because it'd be nice to throw an email this time, YouTube next time, and then whatever
Oh,
next time.
God, no, it's hard
Snail
enough.
mail.
No.
Sell us a letter here with a picture of yourself. No.
This one is submitted. Did I mention it's sponsored? This segment is brought to you by fishfindermounts.com.
You did mention
Come on
that.
now.
You did mention that.
Because if you're
yes.
looking for anything to do with outfitting your boat with electronics, you need to go to fishfindermounts.com, probably first
check it.
or after, I guess during, maybe,
All of the above, my friend.
because they will have everything you
All of the
need to
above.
make that installation perfect. Absolutely perfect in terms of mounts,
yes.
especially transducer mounts. Oh, my God.
Oh,
Did I mention they've got the
I
best
wonder how many
transducer mount
SKUs
in
they
the
have
world?
on that website.
Man, oh man. Anyways, this submission, fan question by Jake Morrissey via email, of course, as we just mentioned. It could have been YouTube, and he could be in contention right now for a huge coupon for fishingcanada.com, the store, or shop at. But he didn't. He sent it via email. That's fine. That's good. We'll read it
You know
anyways.
what? Some people, you know.
Hey guys, big fan of the show. I've noticed you don't often film rainy days, which I get might be tricky for the cameras and the camera ops. They're kind of wimpy in that sense. But be honest, do you actually think fishing in the rain is worth it? Or is it totally fine to just hit snooze and wait it out? What a great question. See, I'd have awarded that one the big bucks.
That would have been a good one for Bucky Bruce. Right? Yesterday's rain, I'd have hit the snooze button all day
I
long.
doubt it. So here's what happens normally. First of all, Jake, you'd be right in assuming that camera operators, none of those do well in the rain, or the cold, or the wind, or the sun, or anything that is not optimal. You know, room temperature, beautiful conditions, all that stuff. So when you throw rainy days into the equation,
That's an exception. That was a show. That's a grab off of a show. But that fish, when it started raining, was on a GoPro, basically. No real camera.
No, you know, real camera
you
people
can't do
out
that.
there and that stuff. However, here's what happens on Fishing Canada shoots normally. What happens is we get up in the morning, it's pouring rain. You know, first of all, we have to console the boys and, you know, and make them breakfast.
Bacon and eggs.
Or bring them, some hot coffee.
Yeah, hot coffee for sure.
You know, just because
Maybe
it's
a
so miserable.
cappuccino martini or something like that to
yeah.
keep them, because they're not going out for a bit.
And then we have to stroke their egos and say, hey, listen, no, you can't. I wouldn't go out in that stuff if I were you either. I mean, that's just awful. And are you good? You're okay? And, well, okay, we'll hang around here, maybe play some cards or something. And once we've got them settled in, because we have to settle them, they're a little off their game. We have to settle them in, make sure they're all wrapped up, blankets and stuff and everything else. And then Pete and I get in the boat and go fishing for the day. It's generally what happens.
What happens.
And,
we have GPS in hand, and,
yep.
and we go mark a bunch of waypoints
Yep.
and try and find them.
And is it worth it? I can think of a handful of cases in the 40 years we've been doing this. Had it not been for the rainy day, had it not been for the fact that you and I were able to go out and hunt, we wouldn't have gotten a show the next day when the sun did come out.
Kind of saved the day, right? Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's certainly worth it in that sense. Should the average person go and expose themselves to torrential downpour for 8, 9, 10 hours to fish? Probably
Depends
not.
how hardcore you are, that's all, right?
Because it's not, I mean, let's face it, most people will tell you it's not fun. It's cold, miserable, wet, damp, it's just totally uncomfortable.
Yeah. If you dress for it, though. Yeah. If you dress for it, you really want. Let's just say this, as Ange stated with that one trip, that's not the only trip. That happens a lot. Fishing in the rain can be excellent. Just stay away from lightning, stay away from thunder. So if it's straight rain and you feel like going out and you dress right for it, go for it, because fishing in the rain can be fantastic. So.
I don't think, I can honestly say I don't believe it's better or worse. I think it's fishing, and I think that I can honestly say I cannot recall going out in the rain one day and saying, "Oh my God, this is the best fishing I've ever had, and it's due to the rain." No, no. I think you go either way on that. The experience of fishing in the rain, if you don't mind it, is pretty cool. Yeah. Especially when you get in the middle of like horrendous downpours.
Oh, those, yeah. And you got to go underneath a guy's dock or something, like a boathouse or something like that. And another thing about fishing in the rain is a lot of people, they only have Saturday to go fishing or whatever. If Saturday's the only day you can go fishing and it's raining, you either suck it up and go, or you stay home. And most people that really want to get out badly, they'll go for it. So sometimes you have to fish in the rain, right? So.
Word of caution, if it's really bad and you don't have automatic bilge pumps in the boat, pretty good idea to go check that bilge every once in a while and flick that switch up.
Yeah, good idea.
Remember that one time on an old boat of ours.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, time to bring on our guest. Before we do that, this segment is brought to you by Sail, the outdoor store. It is home for all things fishing. Of course, we tell you all the time it's more than just fishing, but if you are into fishing, rods, reels, line, lures, footwear,
me. Oh, footwear,
for anglers, clothing of all types, it is the place to be.
Absolutely.
And if you can't be there, you can certainly visit it online. It's sail.ca, sail.ca, and they have everything you need. And I understand there's discounts to be had there, too.
Discounts, not to be confused with sales and sale, right?
That's right.
That gets very confusing for guys like us. So discounts is a good way of putting it, Ange.
Kevin Callan, no stranger to the program, the Happy Camper, YouTuber extraordinaire, and winner.
Never seen him not happy either, by the way.
That's why they call him the Happy Camper, probably.
Never.
You can't be a pissed off happy
Well,
camper.
some people, you can be happy most of the time. Even comedians get pissed off now and then, don't
That's
they?
true.
But Kevin doesn't.
Winner of several national magazine awards, listed as one of the top 100 modern day explorers. Now that's by Canadian
I'm liking that.
Geographical Society. Author of a new book that we're going to talk about. But first, let's bring him onto the show. Welcome to the program once again, my friend.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, great, buddy.
We're doing good, buddy.
Great.
Yeah, just to let you know, I visited my daughter a couple of weeks ago in Hamilton. She's going to university there. And we're driving to Tim's, and some guy cuts me off, so I give him the bird. And he slams the brakes on, and his entire family rolls the window down. Hey, you're the Happy Camper.
Come on. Really?
And I said to him, yeah, I'm not happy now, buddy.
Oh, my God. That's great. Oh, my God.
And the daughter was like Sylvester, like that cartoon, puts a bag over her head. Oh, father.
No kidding.
That's a great story. So he does get pissed off every now and then. He does get a little bit, just edged a little bit.
Edgy.
Yeah.
Edgy.
I don't blame him. Getting lots of cutoffs lately to myself. So,
congratulations on the new book, by the way. Wonderful. We'll talk about that in a moment. It's called A Spark of Courage. Wonderful read. Even better illustration. It's fantastic. But what have you been doing all winter? I bet you've been snuggled up nice and warm in your cabin, all toasty, waiting for the snow to go away.
No tents involved.
No, nothing.
No cook stoves involved, right?
No. I mean, I've been working a lot because I last time I talked to you, I left the college. I don't teach there anymore. And because they got rid of so many environmental programs. And so I'm on my own. I'm full-time Happy Camper. Should have done it long ago, and I miss the students incredibly, to be quite honest. But yeah, so I've been writing and traveling and doing my own thing and getting out more, to be quite honest. This winter, it was a weird winter for us here in Kingston, though. Like, I don't know about you guys, but it didn't. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But I'm learning all about this area. I don't know anything about the Frontenac area. And I started going fishing for black crappie. I never did that before. Yeah. There's no trout stream that I know of. Well, I found a few north of here, but it's so cool to searching for them and not know anything.
Right.
I knew all the places, right? So I went last week. I went last week to find one, and I found it, and I caught brook trout this big.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
There's life.
Fantastic. It's very exciting. To get in there, first of all, I did like 3 days of work, looking at Crown Land Atlas, looking at all the other websites to find out when stocking was put in. And then I went down the road and then went down another road. And I was like, okay, it's got to be in here. Probably people go in here by snow machine in the wintertime. So I'll just bushwhack in, forgetting it's North Frontenac. So by the time I got back, two things happened. One was I went to get my gear and I went to open my car door, and sure enough, my keys are gone. So during the bushwhack of 2.5 kilometers, my keys fell in my pocket. So then I had to go find them, and I actually did find them. But because I searched for them, I came back. My dog was full of ticks. I was full of ticks. And there was let's just say there was one under my undercarriage.
Oh,
wow.
Yes. So I panicked. I panicked. With everybody would panic. And I got tweezers, and by trying to get it out, and I did get it out, I stabbed myself, and blood was spurting out and it got fainty, and
God almighty. Only you,
You
eh?
hit that big vein.
Only Kevin.
That's a story.
What kind of ticks are we dealing with here?
Actually, the good thing is the ones on me were dog ticks with the white tag in the back.
Yeah.
Right.
But in the house, after the dog got in, some black-legged ticks were found.
Oh,
and
shit.
they're the ones that carry Lyme disease. And she had Lyme disease, and all the other ones last year she got sick. Yeah, you guys got Lyme disease once, didn't you?
Yeah,
Chance did,
yeah. That was I put it so far behind me, I don't even remember it.
Oh,
That's how bad. That whole tick thing is disturbing.
It's very, especially when what Kevin just said, back in our younger days, we'd walk through the bush and it was never an issue, or at least we didn't think there was an issue, and nobody seemed to get, Lyme disease. But you're covered, and you and your dog are covering them now, and some of them are black-legged ticks.
Yeah,
That's
and
scary.
some biologists just said the other day that actually they're finding Lyme disease in all the tick species, like the dog tick as well.
Oh,
like
wow.
up
my
Thunder
God.
Bay. They did a study in Thunder Bay, and I've always wanted to put it going. You get ticks on you, but it's like whatever. The more ticks you pull off, the more whiskey you get at night at the campsite.
Exactly.
But now they're finding they have Lyme disease as well, and that's a little scary.
I believe
Wow.
that the reason we hear about it more now is obviously because of our communication networks, right? But I think, like you put it, it's not that we didn't get sick; we just didn't know. The reason I say that, I swear I had Lyme disease when I was like 24, 25. Maybe 26.
You can't get that off chicks, buddy. Yeah, you got to get it off ticks, not chicks. Okay.
Oh,
I know he's like that, eh?
No, he was like that.
I'm
Trust
trying
me.
to be serious. Trying to be serious around here is pretty difficult, Kevin, at best time. But bear with me. But
it's
bear
like we're
with-
fishing.
the-
We were in the boat fishing. I swear David Thompson, the great explorer, I think he died of Lyme disease because I think he came back and got really sick and nobody knew why.
Yeah.
I think a bunch of other people back in history had it, but they didn't know, right? So
But what I was going to say is I went through it for about a year and a half, not quite 2 years. And sicker than a dog. My doctor did everything, checked everything. There was the word Lyme disease, the phrase didn't even exist, right?
Yeah, they said Lyme's.
Yeah,
Lyme's disease.
But now, in retrospect, years and years being close to it, I had everything. I had the classic.
Wow.
Everything that you hear about now, I had. But fortunately for me, I was able to, however, don't know exactly how, but was able to get out of it. We know people. We have a very good friend she's
back at it again, right? I
Yeah,
think.
she's been under its grip for, God, the better part of 15,
God.
maybe 20 years
Yeah.
now.
And she's been
Oh,
fighting
really?
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
really fighting it. Too.
So it affects people in different ways, but I think it's always been there. We've just never known. Right?
Kevin, you said your dog had it, correct?
yeah, so she had the new one too. I forget to pronounce it. There's a new disease that ticks carry. What's the name of it? The vet told me the other day though you can use Naturpel, which I didn't know. And as long as the dog doesn't go in the water because it actually kills fish. Naturpel, whatever that repellent. But at least she can use something. Now she can't take the oral meds because she gets sick from it. So I have to put that little drops on the back of her neck. And yeah, the thing about ticks too is like my dog has really thick fur, so they crawl around the house for a couple of days. No, right?
Yeah.
Or you also, after getting ticks, you get what I call tick syndrome, meaning that you go to bed and you swear there's a tick crawling on you. Or
Right.
I was in the car at Tim Hortons the other day and I swear there was one under my undercarriage again, and I was.
You got a problem with this
myself out.
undercarriage, Maybe we,
No, it's the people in Tim Hortons that have a problem with him and his undercarriage grinding away there. What the hell is this
man.
coffee doing to this guy?
The great thing about that is I wrote an article the other day for it, and I didn't want to use the proper term for that undercarriage, so I looked up thesaurus, and I found 9 different ways to actually say what that was.
Oh God! I was going to ask you what were the symptoms of your dog? Only because my dog has been acting weird lately, and now you guys just rang a bell to me that maybe it might be. Was there the same symptoms as humans, or what is it?
Yeah, sore joints,
Yeah.
which I missed because she's 11 years old and runs a lot because she's half border collie, and also then she got poops big time and vomiting, but also then she didn't eat, and she's also half golden retriever. And when she didn't eat, something's wrong.
Something's wrong, right? Okay.
So, yeah, but it cost $1,400 for by the time they found out what was wrong with her.
Yeah, I figured that.
crazy.
too.
Like, I mean, now it's almost to the point where, like, you got to do a lot of research and a lot of preventative maintenance on you, your pet, and your neighbor before you go out to the outdoors, for God's sakes. And by the way, you're in a hotbed around the Kingston area.
Oh, yeah.
It's always been at the very top of the list. If you look at the map that shows all of the hot areas for ticks, you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, and the scary thing about that is, here I am spending my entire life promoting people to go outdoors.
Right.
By the third day going into certain trout lakes, by the fourth day, I told my partner, I don't want to go.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. It's a different mind frame nowadays.
Crazy.
And the worst part about the disease is they still don't know shit about it.
No.
They really don't.
Well, they know more today than they
Yeah,
did.
but still, it's like $1,400 just to diagnose it. Where they can, my wife went to the doctor yesterday and said, "Oh yeah, you got that." You know what I mean?
Well, I told you, on humans, it's a trial by error.
Yeah.
Right.
Throw the dartboard there.
Yeah, you have 3 trials, and if 2 out of 3 are positive, then they start thinking you have Lyme disease. 2 out of 3.
Wow.
And you know the worst part of it, of this entire thing, is when I went out again, I look like a geek. I actually had completely, beige shirt, trousers, and then my socks up to my knees. Yeah. And I one of those hoodie things. Like I look like an alien.
What'd you do with the undercarriage?
I even sprayed it.
Okay, well that's
Oh
good.
my
That's
goodness.
good. You got to put a little spray on that every once in a while.
The wife likes that one. It gets a nice scent to it and shit like that. Yeah.
It's like
How do we get onto this?
Oh God.
boy. But,
There we go.
That won't stop us now, will it? We'll still get out there. By the way, you know what's really good? If you are spending a lot of time out there, it's very expensive. There's a thing called rhino. I think it's rhino skin. It's a microscopic, thin material. Like it's so thin you can almost see through it. And they make total body wear out of it, right? Top, bottom, socks, you name it. You can, if you're going to be spending the night out there and you know that you're in a tick-infested area, probably a good investment to look into.
Really?
Yeah.
And it doesn't overheat you in the summer?
No. It's
Really?
fantastic. Yeah, and it's
Wow.
tight fitting around all of your openings, right?
Yeah.
Your wrists and whatnot, but very
Interesting.
comfortable.
Interesting.
And apparently ticks cannot penetrate it. So they say.
Well,
But
it's worth a
It's
try.
see-through.
It's worth a try.
It's see-through.
it's not see-through, but if you hold it up to the light, it's very see-through. But otherwise, it comes in black or white, and it's colored, but ultra thin, like microscopic thin.
Every time I think I don't know what to do for my next video, you guys help so much. Like,
There you go. There you go, Kev.
Let's talk about this
That's
wonderful book.
Children's
you've got
book,
out.
yes.
Yeah, that probably is. Do you deal with ticks in it, by the way?
There it is.
no, that's the second copy I'm going to, or the second of the series.
Okay.
I did talk about a serious thing. It's a really good story to tell you guys and everybody out there.
Yep.
So what happened was I was on my 20th book, and my daughter, she's going through actually University for English Lit. I was, why are you going through English literature? That makes no money. Oh, I know that. And so she said, for my 20th book, I should do a kids book. And I said, well, why would I do a kids book? She goes, well, you always want to do a kids book. And if it's the 20th book, I might as well do it. So I went, okay. And she goes, also, it should be about someone with high anxiety going into the woods, and then halfway through their trip in nature, the anxiety goes away, right? And we all know that you calm down and you are who you are. There's no facade. And I went, cool. That same day, I got a note from a illustrator, Cliff McCardle, and didn't know him, and he did a whole bunch of illustrations of a bunch of us. And he did a cartoon character of me, and I went, who are you? But good stuff. So I contacted him, and because of AI, he was losing money in his job in TV. And I said, what are you doing now? And he goes, well, I want to write a kid's book, but I don't have a writer. I went, oh, here I am.
Me.
Yep. And so I gave him the concept of it. And yeah, he went for it. And this book hits so much. But here's the kicker. So I went to my regular publisher, and I had done a bunch of books with them, and they loved his work, but they're like, yeah, we don't get this idea of a kid going in the woods and calming down for anxiety. I can't see that selling. That's not a thing. I went, really?
Oh
Really?
my God.
And I went to a bunch of other publishers, even Scholastic, the kids publishing, and the same thing, same answer. We don't see this selling. I went, you know what? you're wrong. I've been doing this forever. I've been dealing with kids in the woods, and I see it magically transform them. So I created Kevin Callan Books. And I went, if you don't listen, I'll just do it myself. And, I sold my house last year and moved. So I invested some money into this book. And I've been on the road the last 3 weeks, and it's selling, and everybody's loving it, because the concept of it is, you look at the cover, and there's Paul with a hoodie on.
Yeah.
And if you really, there's a whole bunch of weird stuff going in that book, right? And halfway through, the animal characters, it's not Uncle Roy. Uncle Roy takes him on a trip, and he's the catalyst of making the trip happen. But it's the animal characters that are actually helping him learn his skills, and then he's feeling confident about himself. And then halfway through the book, you see the hoodie not on his head. And he, at the end of the book, he doesn't want to go home. He wants to go on another trip.
Wow.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Wonderful. Now, is it written in a language that very young kids can grasp it, or is it something more of an adult reading to a kid kind of thing?
No, so it's written for 6 to 12-year-olds.
Okay.
I'm finding a lot of 4 and 5-year-olds are really liking it. I'm finding a lot of parents are liking it, because before they go on a trip with the kids, Scouts Canada and Scouts US just contacted me, and they absolutely love it. They're starting reading it in their meetings, because there's a lot of skill set in there, like how to tie knots and how to how to light a fire and stuff like that. But it's all indirect. What's really cool too is that the animal characters are my buddies I go out on canoe trips with, but they didn't know that. So there's the bear, the chipmunk,
That's awesome.
yeah. And they went to my opening launch signing, and they found out that was them. And they're like, oh, that's not me. I'm not the bear. Yes, you are.
Exactly. Oh, that's cool.
How long did it take you to put it together?
Yeah, that's
2 years.
2
Wow.
years.
Yeah,
It's a process.
basically because writing a children's book is a lot harder than writing a book, because you have to write it to the audience, and you have to go back to your childhood, and talk like they talk, and communicate like they communicate.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of humor in there, all subconscious, and there's like finding Waldo. Like there's all these camp gear that they have to choose what to take on the trip. And yeah, I didn't think it was good. I thought it would be pretty easy. I thought we'd write it in like a couple months, and then off we go. But and then also the artwork, which is really good. Cliff did an amazing job.
Yeah, you did.
But it's very, very like a little shadow here, a little shadow there. And you guys will love this. I finally said to him after 2 years, I went, look, I just finished a road tour all across Canada speaking, and I didn't have the book. The book needs to be out, man. Like, forget.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, once again, it went out. It was fine. The good thing is to watch a kid read it, or watch a parent watch the kid read it. That's happening to me now. The last few days, I've been getting much of notes from people, and just wondering why there's no other book about this. And I'm thinking, that's a good question. You go to a kid's bookstore and try to find a book about high anxiety going into nature. Like
There is
Really? Eh?
Yeah.
You'd think that would have been written, but I guess.
not a lot. Like Kevin said, a lot of adults, a lot of us don't see it, don't understand it. We did some research with Coleman years ago about that very subject. And there was science at the time, and I'm sure there's more of it available now, mostly from the U.S., where kids that had some sort of, ADD and all that stuff, they ran some tests by putting them in green spaces, the amount of medication that they could cut back on and not have any effects,
Right.
to the point where eventually medication was removed, and as long as exposure to the outdoors was made available on a regular basis, kids actually dealt with their anxiety in a totally different way. And to your point, I mean, this
exactly what Kevin's saying.
book is way overdue, because I dare say most parents today, not our ages, but younger parents, have no idea that this place is out there within grasp, where they can take their kids and actually watch an improvement over them. They have no idea, no concept of that at all. Maybe this book will open that door for a lot of people. Yeah.
And it doesn't happen to really young kids. It can happen to
of
teenagers
course,
too, right? It can be
of
16,
course.
17-year-olds. You get them out there, and all of a sudden the whole world changes.
Yeah.
Get them off that phone for 2 hours in a row. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's that, because I'm trying to think back to the studies back then. I mean, I don't think connectivity was the issue. It was just getting into those green areas, just spending time in those green areas.
Their mind is different. It's going in different
something
directions
happens
now.
with the brain that leads in a different direction. I guess.
Dean, can we get this slide up my favorite slide of this whole book, Kevin's book? Kevin, you're going to love this slide. You know the slide.
This one
No,
here.
not that one right there. For the audience, for the YouTubers that are looking there. Ange, read your line over there.
You got to be kidding. There's no way I'm going to poop in this thing. I will just hold on to it till I get home.
Then the bear is sitting on the pooper. Says nothing like some quiet time on the thunderbox. Toot, bap, pop. That is so, Kevin. That is so us out in the field. That is Ange over there, gonna hold her in for as long as he possibly can. And he's done it many times, as long as he can. And that's either I was saying it's a combination of Dean and I. Dean would be the guy reading on the pooper, and I'm the guy making all the noise on there. So it's so us in the field right there. It's perfect.
So
slide.
there's so many hidden gems in that book too. If you look at the bear, the bear is actually reading one of my books, Top 70 Canoe Route book.
Oh God, is that right? Oh,
Yeah. Well,
That's
because I messed in the head. I got all these weird jokes happening throughout the book. Just and a lot of poop humor. I even when I did a signing the other day, I asked the one kid, if you found out how many times you see toilet paper in that book, I'll give you a prize.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
And?
There's 5. Well, I shouldn't give the answer.
No, that's
Well,
true.
you just
might
gave
be
it away.
listening.
5 times 2 minus 3. Okay, yeah. Oh, God.
Safe to say, Paul is not a real person that you fashioned this from. This is a fictitious name in person or not?
No, it's not. Actually, so to me, Paul is a young kid that I taught in 2016. I taught youth at risk for many years. And I remember Paul, well, his name wasn't Paul, but he sat in the front row with a hoodie on and didn't say much of anything. He had a lot of issues. And then we spent all the time outdoors all the time in the class. And about 2 weeks into the semester, he took the hood off. And then I met him the other day, and he's a fisheries biologist.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But the artist also has his rendition. It's his brother. So he has a brother. They're both adopted, and his brother has mental issues. And we used to wear a hoodie, and now he's getting better because of time in the outdoors. So him and I really were in cahoots with the character. And Uncle Roy, everybody thinks I'm Uncle Roy. I'm not. Uncle Roy is just everybody out there has an Uncle Roy to take a picture.
Every family has one.
That is
Every
true.
family.
And Uncle Roy is just Uncle Roy. Well, let's go. What's your problem? Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm in there. I'm the one paddling with a whole bunch of youth in a canoe group that they pass by. And then Paul is like, why are those kids having fun? Because he's not used to being out there yet. He's not comfortable. And if you look at the leader, it's me. But I looked at the artist. I was like, I look old. You made me look old.
Duh. If the shoe fits, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
How much is there in this book that deals with survival? Or is this just strictly a story that you're hoping will expose kids to just sampling the outdoors? How much of it could somebody take and actually apply it to survival in the outdoors at a younger age, obviously?
yeah. But every third or fourth page, there's a scene where Paul learns by the animal characters helping him how to light a fire, how to tie knots, how to put a tarp up, how to not get lost. Etiquette too. There's a scene where they're portaging. There's a whole bunch of signs in the trees saying what you should do proper out there. And one is don't poop on the portage, which is quite funny. But so it is a learning as well as just a storyline. I wanted to do that because that's my thing. Like the Happy Camper, I do all these tips and tricks, right? And when we were writing this, and I said to Cliff, I went, well, how about we throw in some stuff so the parents can actually go with the kids and say, well, this is how you do this. So when we go out, you can do this. And that's what I really want them to do, because then remember, guys, when you started fishing and when you started camping, we all didn't know what we're doing. But then when you started learning those skills, you weren't really spooked to be out there anymore. Right. You actually enjoyed yourself.
Yeah,
for
you're
sure.
right.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
And portaging and camping is probably the most important one that you do that in, because at first, you're right. I remember the very first time that I agreed to go portaging in Algonquin Park with a couple of guys that were a couple of years older than me and had gone through it a few times. I was scared shitless.
Really?
I had no idea.
I could
I'd
see
never done
that.
it before, right? And I had no idea how how I was going to cope with it. I think it was 5 nights in the woods.
Right.
And
it's not
was
just
terrifying.
grabbing a campsite off of the road, close to the camp. You're going across the land and then across a lake, and then you're getting.
In this case, every
further.
day we were moving to our
that
end
would
spot,
get you, yeah.
and then when you get there, you're moving back. Right?
Yeah.
I had no idea, and boy, the things that you learn along the way, and the confidence that you build that you can use later on in life or outside of that situation, but in everyday normal. Day-to-day activities, the confidence that you can build by doing a hike like that is just phenomenal. And I by the sounds of it, this book is going to hopefully inspire kids, their parents, families to look at it as a serious alternative to what we have gotten ourselves locked into in life, and use it wisely. I think it's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Do you mention Algonquin Park in the book at all?
No, actually, but the landscape is based on tomogamy because the illustrator, which obviously would chose the landscape, that's his favorite place is tomogamy. The landscape to me looks like Algonquin and tomogamy, whatever. It's all boreal forest. Yeah. But that is a really good question. The funny thing is, so Cliff, love the guy. He's amazing. He's very quiet, very shy, and didn't want to do any of the media stuff. But he did go to one of the book signings. And then someone asked him about the book, and he started telling them stories I didn't even know. Like I didn't know it was based on tomogamy. I didn't know that the front cover was actually his brother. And I was like, look at him, like you maybe would have told me that before.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
That's true. Eh?
I'm assuming it's doing well.
Yeah, it is actually. It's been out for 3 weeks. I've sold over 2,000.
Nice.
It's on all the stores like Amazon and Chapters, Indigo. And what I really want though is that's great. It's my 20th book. I know that whole routine, but I really want to get into the schools, and I really wanted to get into the Scouts and Cubs and Girl Guides. And hopefully we'll do another one. It's a lot of work doing a kid's book, but I really want another one. And I'm thinking the idea would be that a young girl takes her mom out or her aunt out, whatever, on a trip. The adult doesn't know what they're doing, and the young kid teaches.
Yeah, that would be
one.
great.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic. Good for you, man. You said you're going into Algonquin Park next week?
No, I'm going tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Whereabouts?
First of all, I'm so excited because I should never be going now. I should have gone 2 weeks ago, and everybody out there listening would understand this. We've always gone the second week of May because, that's when they're hitting, right? Yep. And the bugs aren't out yet. Yep. And my buddy, Mr. McBride, if you're listening out there, Mr. Speedoman, he had to take a holiday with his wife, and we couldn't go until now.
Oh, boy.
And so we're going, and I'm taking my partner's son, Jesse. He's like 27 or something like that. It's his first backcountry trip. And he came over to get some gear last night, and I gave him a bug jacket, and he goes, "Do you think we'll need this?"
Oh my God.
So,
my buddy just went up to his cottage last weekend, which is not as far, not closest to yours on latitude, and he said they're horrendous right now. They are horrendous. He said the worst he's ever seen them. So there you go.
The mosquitoes, I don't get it. The mosquitoes the other day when I was just out for a day trip, I've never seen mosquitoes that bad now. I don't get it.
As a rule,
it's been, like you said, it's been a weird winter and even a stranger spring, and right now it's weird for that matter. Obviously it's playing right into the bugs wish list for temperatures and climate and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's perfect for them.
It is. And they're even saying now that we have new mosquito species in Canada because they're coming north.
Oh, great.
Oh, really?
That's what we do. Hey, Volva, there you go, buddy. Hey, Volva's happy.
Look how excited.
He's looking at him right now.
No, I'm going to that. I said, guys, the only way we're going to catch trout right now is we have to go deep. So bring the lead core. We're going into the Tim River, Roseberry, and all those lakes. But there's some side lakes I know where you bushwhack in, and they're not part of the canoe route. And I know that they have trout. And of course, I'm not going to tell you what lake those are, but we're going into those. But the other thing is, I said we need to do a river, whether the Nipissing or the Tim, and we're going to do the Tim. We did the Nipissing a couple years ago because if we're going to catch trout, it's going to be on the river system because they're holding in the holes, right?
Right.
Whereas right now on a lake, it's a hit and miss if you're going to catch them. Maybe because the weather is going to be bad, we'll catch some, but.
Yeah, it gets progressively, but you know what? It's difficult to predict what the weather's done to them. I mean, we can assume, like you just assumed, it might be the opposite for all you know. You might get in there, and because of what's gone on in the past 4 or 5 months, climate-wise, maybe the opposite is true. Who knows?
What's a bug hatch like this? Mosquitoes and black flies. What are at least the brook trout? Do they get feeding on whatever they can?
I've heard there's quite a bit of feeding on them, but then I've been in situations where the bugs were so bad that you'd swear the fish should just be feeding like crazy on them, even when they're on the surface. But no activity at all.
Yeah.
To Kevin's point, they were deep.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who the hell knows?
It all depends. Like I know Roseberry. It all depends if they feed on Cisco or minnows or invertebrates. So because last year we were on Ralph Bice Lake, and we caught lake trout out in the middle that were white meat, so they were eating minnows and more fat. And then along the shoreline, we were catching them with pink meat, which they're eating invertebrates. And we got them a good time because they're mixed everywhere. The fish were everywhere. Huh. So where we're going, I don't know. And that's the thing. Like I don't know what to try first, but it's always the first person to catch a fish. Then you start looking at their lure.
Of course. Well, you've got at least one of the right
one
lure.
EGB there.
I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what. This might be something for you. I recently went fishing, and for trout, rainbow and specks, and surprisingly enough, I did extremely well with minnow baits, hard baits. Not so much spoons and not so much spinners, but I had those Uzuri.
Either the pins minnows or the little squareback or whatever.
Squareback,
yeah.
They were smacking the hell out of it. So
well, that's good. I packed some of those. What do they call it? Storm? The little jig? Yeah.
Well, not a jig. These are like a little minnow bait.
Think of the old Rapella.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Same idea.
Blue Rapella and Algonquin. I've always done well with that.
There you go.
So pack a few of those in lieu of a pocket full of those EGBs. But they might come in tomorrow. What time do you leave?
I leave at 4 a.m.
They better come in tonight.
Anyways, and you're going in for how long?
5 days.
5 days. Okay.
Nice.
And then right after that, I'm doing a whole bunch of trips. I'm going up to Lake Superior. This is kind of a cool job because again, I'm not teaching anymore, so I'm taking all these other jobs, and I'm going to Lake Superior along the North Shore for a week with in a Voyager canoe with 10 strangers. They just basically they paid to be with me in a canoe with a guide, and I guess I got to tell some stories or something.
Wow.
And which you guys would really. This could be good or bad.
Oh yeah,
great.
Oh yeah, we've been there, and yeah, it's usually a 50-50 coin toss on how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, and when they're good, they're great, but when they're bad,
they're real bad, right? And the thing is, the problem with that is you're going to be stuck with them for the duration. It's not like you can say, "It's been nice knowing you. I think I got it." No. You're there for the whole deal. So
in the same boat too. Like it's not just canoes; it's a Voyager canoe. So I'm sitting beside the, looking at the guy, and
I got a feeling they're going to be good on the good side when they're doing that. They're going on a Voyager canoe. They're going to Lake Superior. They go with Kevin Callan, the happiest camper of all campers. I can't see them all being too negative. You know what I mean? There's got to be a. There's
always one, my friend.
Well, it's still going to balance good for Kevin, I think.
And you guys are going to pitch your camp at night, get out and put up tents and sleep, and then get up in the morning, do it again, and so on and so on.
Yeah, and we're going up to Denison Falls, which you remember Water Walker Bill Mason film where he was sketching his paintings at the falls. That's where we're going.
Nice.
And I've been everywhere in this province, but I haven't been there. I don't know why. So I thought, good. I'm going to northern Quebec again. I went last year to a Pemmican National Park, and amazing fishing. Lake Kippawa was insane.
Really?
Lake Kippawa?
No kidding. For walleye or for pike or what? For
both. More walleye and bass. I think smallmouth bass were like monsters. My rod snapped at the base. reeling one in. Not the tip, the base. It snapped in half.
Really? Because we're heading up that way, I believe.
Yeah, hey, right, Dean, I think.
Yeah, it
When
sounds
you're on
like
Lake Chippewa, what they do is the smallmouths out in the middle of the lake, they go in herds and they slurp.
Oh, don't tell us that. Do not tell us anything like that, because it's not our favorite way of catching them, honestly. Oh, it is. Trust me. He's looking at me like I'm a weirdo because I'm lying like hell, Kevin. We got onto that up in the Atikokan area one year, and it was just mayhem. 90 feet of water on the surface, pretty much.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I didn't know they did that. I was out last year and I saw this and I went, well, those are walleye eating mayflies, maybe? I don't know. In the middle of nowhere, like you're not along a shore or shoal or whatever. And I simply just cast it. Now, the fun part was about this fishing rod, though. So my buddy, I gave him a whole bunch of good camp gear when I had a yard sale when I moved. And I said, don't give me any money, but just give me a really good fishing rod. I don't really carry a good fishing rod because usually they break. And so he got me this supposedly really expensive fishing rod. And I took it on that trip and it snapped the first fish. Thank goodness I had another rod.
Oh my God.
And I looked at the camera. I didn't put this on social media or whatever, but I got B-roll. I looked at the camera. You are a cheap son of a...
Expensive rod.
But I know they were slurping up and I just cast it into the slurps.
Yeah.
And boom, boom, boom. It was amazing.
Oh my God.
Really good.
Yeah.
But the great thing about Lake Chippewa is that Lake Temagami is nice, but right across from into the Quebec border, you've got a lake the same size that would take you 10 days to paddle around it, all crown land. Mm-hmm. And you've got amazing fishing and you see boats, but in the distance, it's nothing like Temagami.
Oh, good. Good
Nice.
to know.
Nice.
Good to
Hopefully
know.
we'll hit some of that surface
Yeah.
action. Oh my God, those
that'll be
twitch
good.
baits. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Top water, twitch baits, jerk baits. Keep going, keep going.
How big were the
keep going.
walleye?
Good size, but the range back and forth. So it was a good, healthy population, but only on some parts of Lake Chippewa. Like there was bass in the north end, but you'd have to go. Well, where I caught them was down by the central part of the eastern side of the inlets. And you know what? How I found them? I watched the people from the lodges go out fishing.
It's the best way to do it.
Yeah, why not?
And I don't know the last time I talked to you, but last year I went to a Pasquay. I told you about that, the far northern trip I did by James Bay, where I almost died.
No.
Oh,
Do tell.
okay. I'll do this quick version of it. You and I, we all have to have a whiskey during this conversation about this trip.
Of course.
But it was a trip my buddy planned that I didn't know about because 10 years ago we did the Venus Lake in Algonquin and he went and didn't like it. So he goes, okay, when we're 60, we're going to do a trip and you don't know anything about it. So Explorer Magazine, I write for them. They said, that's a good story. I didn't like it. I want to know where I was going. But we headed north and just watched the video on my Casey Happy Camper. It's hilarious. I had a blindfold on me driving north. And
Nice.
so we get to Red Lake and then where are we going to Red Lake? And we flew to a Pasquay, which is a provincial park up near the James Bay lowland. And it was 250 kilometers north in the bush plane. We flew in that bush plane, the Beaver, for 2.5 hours.
Wow,
So
that's
you-
a long beaver. That's a long
Imagine being in a
flight.
plane that long. And then there were forest fires coming, and I didn't want to be there. I said, well, remember last summer, the end of the summer, they were evacuating people
Yeah.
from Manitoba? We were flying into it. And so I looked at my buddy, and I was like, you're an idiot. Like you're an idiot. And then so the pilot couldn't land on where we're supposed to go. So we landed on another lake, and the lakes don't have names up there. Well, they do. First Nations people have names. So we landed, and then he said, well, I have a map showing, there's some portages here back in the day. I went, okay. And the pilot goes, well, I've never been here. Good luck, fellas. See you later. See you in 16 days. And left. We get to the first portage, and this is a fast version of it. There were no portages. And it took us, get this, it took us 6 days to go 4 kilometers.
Oh my God, that's thick.
Because we had to cut our way. There was no portage.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And then I thought, well, if this was a First Nations portage, it had to be in here. And we're cutting alder and stuff. I went to Andy. I went, there's no way they went here. And I went up to a ridge on, I think, day 5. And he goes, well, that's not where the lake is. I went, I'm just getting all these alders. And then I looked up on a birch tree, about 6 feet above me, my head, there was a blaze, a portage blaze. And I went, this was a winter route because the snow would have been that high and they took the blaze.
Right. Wow.
So that's how we got out. We started walking the ridges. And then, so this will just blow your mind. So I did not put a line in the water until day 8 of this trip.
What'd you do for food?
we went to places that nobody has been for. The history shows that the canoeists that went to a passway. Two ways to define this. One is the outfitter. We finally got to the outfitter, Big Hook Outfitting. Fantastic guys. They actually saved our buns. And they said, you came from the southeast. Nobody comes from there.
Oh, my God.
And I go, well, how many canoeists goes here? Well, the last 13 years, there's been 2 groups. In that park. And then when I got back, Ontario Parks sent me a note saying, can you write up a report about that park? Because we haven't been there yet.
Wow. What'd you do for food? You couldn't have brought
I dehydrated. I was quite proud of myself. I dehydrated enough food, extra too, because it was early September, so it was getting cold up there. And it fit all in one barrel, plus a couple of things of whiskey. But we got close. At the end, I had just a wee dram left of whiskey. I was.
That's not good. Hey, that's scary when you get to that point. How was the fish? You said you did get fishing though. Did you get some fish?
Yeah, so once we got settled, what happened was I finally said to Andy, look, like we're being silly white man here right now. We're trying to push to get somewhere. We were supposed to do 127 kilometer loop. We've gone 36 kilometers in a week and a half. Like we have to chill and then we got windbound for 4 days on this one campsite. So we couldn't even fish from the boat. We had to fish from shore. But yeah, walleye and pike. Great. It was fantastic.
Great adventures, man. If you're listening to this and never done anything like that before, go to the YouTube, the channel. What's the name of the channel?
KC Happy Camper. Don't do this, you'll die.
There you go. That's the channel you need to go and check this out. If it doesn't inspire you to get together with your buddies and go and experience some of this true Canadiana, it's nothing will. Buddy, we got to run. I really appreciate you taking the time, especially the day before you leave on a big trip. I know how much stuff's got to be prepared.
Let us know how you do.
And best of luck on that book. By all means, that looks fantastic. I urge anybody listening that's got kids, wants to give them a really good read and experience what we talk about on a regular basis. That's
a spark of courage.
A spark of courage. Thank you, my friend. Be safe.
There it is.
We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you when you get back.
I hope I catch the biggest fish.
Let us know.
I hope you do too, buddy. Good luck.
Take care, bud. Oh man, sometimes I look at him and I say, he's got the ultimate life. Right?
Then he sees you on TV and says, damn, that Angelo's got the ultimate life.
Exactly. Check him out on YouTube. Wonderful storyteller.
Great guy,
great outdoorsman. I did not know he was voted in the top 100.
I didn't either.
All right. On that note, we're running into some overtime issues.
Oh, no.
We've got to run. Don't forget fishingcanada.com, the gateway to portal to your next fishing adventure. And get on there often and win some of the goodies that are up for grabs. On behalf of the entire team, Bova, Nick, Dean, Peter, I'm Angelo. Thank you for joining us. Talk to you next week. This episode of Outdoor Journal Radio has been brought to you in part by the Invasive Species Centre, protecting Canada's land and water from invasive species. Freedom Cruise Canada, rent the boat, own the memories. J&B Cycle and Marine, your home for all things power sports, boats, and equipment. And Sail, the ultimate destination for your outdoor adventures.